Welcome to the deep dive. Where we try to cut through all the noise and get straight to the insights that will actually matter. Have you ever found yourself scrolling endlessly through investment options? Or maybe just staring at your budget and you end up exactly where you started, just feeling overwhelmed, unsure what to do next. Yeah, you were definitely not alone there. That feeling, just being totally bogged down by all the financial choices, it's a really common challenge.
Mhm.
And our sources, they actually call it decision fatigue in wealth building. So our mission today is basically to slice through all that clutter for you. We've got a whole stack of articles, research, different insights, everything from like innovative investing strategies in real estate to some surprising digital income streams, even some really unique ways people are creating wealth. We're going to pull out the key nuggets from all these sources and give you practical ways to, overcome this challenge, help you move forward with a bit more confidence and clarity.
That's right. And it's true, that feeling of overwhelm, it's incredibly universal, especially like you said, when it comes to managing our money. What's really compelling about the sources you've gathered is they don't just acknowledge the problem, they really dive deep into the psychology behind it. And maybe more importantly, they offer some concrete pathways forward. So yeah, we're going to help you identify not just what effective actions you can take, but really why those actions matter, hopefully helping you shift from that financial paralysis to more purposeful, informed decisions.
Okay, right. So let's unpack this core idea first. What exactly is decision fatigue when we're talking about money?
Well, our source will define it as that feeling of being, completely swamped by just too many choices. Could be investment options, budgeting software, even just figuring out what to do with, say, a sudden windfall. And this often leads to procrastination or, yeah, frustratingly, just no action at all. It's a pretty common experience, right? You're faced with thousands of stocks or countless fund options, maybe an endless stream of financial advice, and your ability to make a sound decision, it just freezes. You almost become so afraid of making the wrong move that you end up making, well, no move at all.
Indeed. And if we connect this to the sort of bigger picture, our brain actually operates with a limited decision quota each day.
Yeah.
Think of it like a mental energy battery. Every single choice you make, from what to wear, what to eat, it drains a little bit of that energy. So by the time many investors get around to confronting complex financial decisions, that mental energy is often significantly depleted, which just makes those choices feel exponentially harder.
And then adding to this, you've got emotional triggers, things like anxiety about potential losses,
Sure.
a natural skepticism maybe about financial advice, and that really pervasive fear of missing out, FOMO. All these things can worsen decision fatigue. They can lead to hesitation or sometimes the opposite, impulsive moves that aren't really well thought out.
Okay.
But the good news is, by understanding this inherent limitation, we can actually design strategies to simplify things and act with far greater clarity.
Okay, so if the big problem is just too many choices, what are our sources suggesting? What's the main solution?
Well, a really strong recommendation that comes up again and again is this idea of curated, expert-driven portfolios. It's really all about simplifying the whole investment landscape. So instead of you having to pick individual stocks or, dive into complex analysis, investors choose broader themes. These could be things like, say, green energy, artificial intelligence, maybe defense, or pharmaceutical innovation.
And the beauty of this approach, according to what we've read, is that it really reduces the number of big decisions you have to make. It boils it down to just one, basically. Which theme do I believe in and want to support for the long term? Our sources point to platforms like Small Case and Green Portfolio as good examples here. And these aren't just like generic robo-advisors. They're thematic investment platforms. They provide research-backed portfolios curated for different life stages, different risk profiles. And this approach, they argue, can offer a huge sense of peace of mind. It can really cut down on that initial overwhelming confusion.
Yeah, and building on that idea, simplifying choices, a key takeaway from the sources is a pretty clear three-step framework for actually doing this. First, you consciously pick a theme, something that genuinely aligns with your personal beliefs, your outlook for the future.
Yeah.
Maybe it's EVs, renewable energy, whatever.
Okay.
Second, and this is critical, you trust experts to curate and manage that portfolio. You leverage their research, their insights. It's not blind faith, it's informed delegation.
Right.
And third, just start with a small, manageable investment. This lets you gain clarity, build some confidence, see how your chosen theme performs without committing too much right away. It's a really powerful way to get past that initial paralysis without feeling like you're taking some huge, irreversible leap.
Okay, now here's where I thought it got really interesting. Our sources also bring in a completely different but equally powerful approach to simplifying your entire financial life. This comes from the book Your Money or Your Life.
Oh, a classic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the core idea is about radically transforming your relationship with money. It's not just about saving more, but finding true financial freedom, aligning your spending with what you actually value. It guides you through these practical steps like meticulously tracking every penny you spend, rigorously evaluating that spending against your values, and really redefining what enough actually means for you personally. I kind of thought of it like Marie Kondo for your finances, you know? If an expense doesn't really spark joy or serve a vital purpose, it might be time to say goodbye. It feels less about strict budgeting and more about just stopping that cycle of working just to pay bills.
Yeah.
Instead, starting to live with real intention.
Exactly right. And this isn't just about, crunching numbers. It's more of a philosophical shift. It helps you reclaim your most precious resources, your time and your energy, from that kind of endless treadmill of money stress. The book powerfully emphasizes that you're essentially trading your life energy for money, right? And then trading that money for things or experiences.
Yeah.
So the crucial action step here is actually quite profound. It suggests you honestly track all your expenses for a month, and then for each purchase, ask yourself, is this truly worth the slice of my life energy it cost me to earn that money?
Wow.
That kind of critical reflection. It encourages incredibly conscious spending. You start to cut the things that don't genuinely add value, and you'll likely notice your financial and emotional freedom growing because you're making deliberate choices about where your valuable life energy is actually going.
Okay, so moving beyond the sort of big picture stuff like investment choices and conscious spending, our sources also tackle some really common specific financial decisions. Things many of us face day to day, like, for example, those subscription costs that just sneak up on you.
Oh, yeah.
We've all done it, right? Signed up for a free trial that quietly turns into a monthly drain. Our sources show how these hidden fees can seriously erode your wealth over time.
Yeah.
And they offer strategies to, identify and trim the fat, often without even losing your favorite shows or apps. It's about using tech, maybe dedicated tracking apps to get control back, sometimes even negotiate better rates. And then there's that age-old debate, renting versus buying. Our sources don't just repeat the old advice. They actually dive into current market realities. They help you figure out which path is statistically more likely to grow your net worth faster today. Going beyond just the, emotional pride of owning a home, they offer a framework to really evaluate the financial side, considering interest rates, property taxes, market appreciation versus, say, the flexibility and investment opportunities renting might offer.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is that even with these very specific, tangible decisions, that underlying principle we talked about, informed, intentional choice, it remains absolutely central.
Right.
Our sources don't just lay out the options, they aim to empower you with the framework to really evaluate them rigorously. So instead of feeling overwhelmed by, let's say, the choice between buying a rental property versus investing more in the stock market, you're given the tools to compare the likely returns, assess the different risk profiles, estimate the kind of effort involved for each. You could think of it as comparing tenants to ticker symbols, but with a really clear lens. And this lets you make a decision based on your specific financial goals, your risk tolerance, your situation, rather than just, following assumptions or getting stuck analyzing forever.
Okay, now let's pivot a bit. Let's talk about some less conventional, maybe, but equally powerful ways our sources suggest for building wealth. Especially with today's digital landscape. We're talking about leveraging digital income streams and this rapidly evolving world of AI tools.
Interesting.
Yeah, our sources share some fascinating stuff. For instance, insights into building a faceless YouTube presence. This often involves using these new generative AI tools like Kling AI to quickly create really compelling visual assets. Imagine, like, merging a professional certificate onto an avatar, making it look like the avatar is authentically holding it, all generated in seconds.
Wow.
And then, after creating those visuals, the next step is using tools like vidIQ. These help you find highly SEO-optimized keywords. Now, for listeners who are already in the digital space, search engine optimization, SEO, is crucial, right?
Absolutely.
It's all about making your content really discoverable on YouTube, Google, places like that. By refining your content with the right keywords, you massively increase the chance your videos pop up when someone searches for your topics, dramatically expanding your reach, your income potential. And the long-term value here is huge. Each digital asset, you publish a video, a thumbnail, a description, it counts toward building this library of resources that can keep working for you over time, attracting viewers, earning revenue, long after you actually hit publish.
And if we connect that back to the bigger picture, each small, deliberate step you take here, whether it's mastering a new AI tool or learning how to craft an effective video description or just understanding platform algorithms,
Yeah.
it's like adding another brick to your wealth building foundation. It really shows how consistency and curiosity, just like smart financial investments, they compound over time. This approach also encourages you to constantly experiment, iterate. A key insight from our sources is simply that with AI advancing so rapidly, there's really never been a better or more accessible time to just jump in and start creating those digital assets that can work for you passively.
Right. And for a final, and I thought truly surprising insight into wealth creation,
Yeah.
our sources even dive into luxury dice.
Luxury dice, seriously.
Yes, you heard that right. We're talking about these exquisitely crafted, sometimes even gold-plated dice. Like the Bentley of board games, apparently, fetching prices that you just wouldn't expect.
Huh.
But what's really fascinating here isn't just the dice themselves. It's what they represent from a wealth-building perspective.
Mm.
The takeaway seems to be, think like a connoisseur, or maybe a niche market creator, not just a casual consumer. It really highlights how things like scarcity, exceptional craftsmanship, and a dedicated collector base can turn even simple items into high-value assets.
Interesting angle.
Yeah, it teaches us to look for unmet needs or premium segments, the potential to create unique value in unexpected places. It's kind of proof that with the right twist, even unassuming products can become rare treasures. And hey, who says building wealth can't be a little bit of a game?
Haha. True.
So, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, it feels really clear that building wealth, and maybe just as importantly, avoiding that paralysis of decision fatigue, it really comes down to those small, smart, and usually intentional moves. Whether it's actively cutting those unnecessary subscription costs or beating analysis paralysis with curated investment themes, thoughtfully weighing renting versus buying, or exploring these new digital income streams, every step counts, right? It adds up over time. It's really about leveraging the kinds of insights from sources like the ones we've discussed today to make informed choices.
Absolutely. Ultimately, I think this deep dive powerfully shows us that by making conscious choices, by understanding a bit of the psychology behind our decisions, and by harnessing the right tools and strategies, you absolutely can avoid analysis paralysis and actively shape your own financial future.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional, really, with your money and your life energy, whether that means simplifying complex investment decisions or scrutinizing your daily expenses or maybe experimenting with these new digital wealth avenues. So for you, our listener, maybe this raises an important question. Based on everything we've talked about today, what's one single simple action you feel ready to take starting today to move a little closer to your financial goals?